What Ragatip is doing is something I love, and it's one of the reasons when we spoke that I said yes, because we everything I spoke about now is almost what I understood that you're trying to do as well in Ragatip, which is make a wider audience appreciate Indian classical music as well as the fusion element, so they understand it more and are able to get involved. My name is Mithushan Sivagurunathar. I'm 25 years old. I started off by learning Mridangam, but now I've tried to specialise on playing the guttam, which is a clay pot, or the morsing, which is otherwise known as a mouth harp, jaw harp, and those are my two main instruments at the moment. The expectation is when you're trying to focus on the modern Western life is to get a degree, get a job, go on to buy a house, and all these other things that you'd expect in normal daily life, which music isn't factored into. I feel like you can only go to the next stage when you decide, okay, I want to do this for myself, which is what I did. As a 10-year-old, what I would recommend if you want to learn any Indian classical music instrument or a music instrument is to find yourself a teacher. If you don't find yourself a teacher, you don't have the grounding or the ability to learn, make mistakes and correct your mistakes. Learning by looking at YouTube videos will only get you so far, but you won't have someone telling you, no, you're accenting that note wrong, or no, you're playing this groove slightly wrong, or you're playing this wrong, or that's not to summon or something like that, because as a teacher, they'll be able to tell, okay, no, you're slightly wrong. It sounds good, but it's not right. And they'll be able to get you 100% right. Some of the most positive memories I have within music, definitely my trip to India. Spending that much time just in that life where you wake up, you do music the whole day, you go to bed, nothing else. You know, when you're in this country, you're trying to focus on getting a degree, getting a job, and focusing on that solely from 9 to 5 or the 9 to 5. But when I was there, I was fully engrossed, and I got to share the stage with Girdhar Sir for two concerts. They were fusion concerts, but honestly, I still remember it like it was yesterday, and those things don't go away from me. And otherwise, other than that, in this country, I've once in 2012, I'll say, we did this fusion project through Milak Fest with ANIM, which is the Afghanistan National Indian Orchestra or something, I forget the name. But they were all a bunch of kids who were separated from parents or so on due to war conditions. And when they came here for the collaboration, not one of us could communicate in the same language. And the only way we were able to speak to each other is in the way we played. So we even did a concert at Alchemy Festival at the South Bank Centre. And I think that was one of the most rewarding things I've done in terms of not being able to communicate with someone vocally, but being able to just, okay, na din din na din din na, then they play or something like that, and that was so beautiful. There's a way to do fusion that is tasteful and doesn't confuse or doesn't have the doubt that it creates of being a confusing element. And you can't do fusion, in my opinion, unless you have the classical background and the grounding to be able to do all the fusion stuff. The process of trying to promote myself and so on, it has been a little bit difficult because in this country, especially for young upcoming artists in the purely classical scene, there's very, very limited opportunities, and you have to really work for it or be connected to the right people. That's not saying that if you're talented you won't get in. There's a couple of great initiatives that have been set up, such as Ragaru, which is an online series of classical concerts and mini concerts, which has allowed me to have a couple of opportunities over the past couple of years. But in terms of fusion, the way I feel that I've promoted myself and broken into the scene is through social media, particularly Instagram, and I'm trying now to get on top of TikTok and get ahead of the game and get people involved. And I think my focus has shifted over time because I feel like if an opportunity is there for me to perform, I'll take it. But my goal is not just to perform, but to make people who don't understand our music to be involved in some way or another, whether that is understanding it or whether it's just sitting there and appreciating what's happening. The way to get more audience involved as musicians is not just showcase your talent, but explain what it is, explain the instrument and make people understand rather than just listen to the music, because as a musician, if you're capable, you can make anyone happy with what you play.